Ranked third among the countries with the world's finest cuisine, boasting more than 500 distinctive dishes, where women are admired as the most beautiful in Asia, where stunning beaches have been recognized by UNESCO as World Natural Heritage Sites. This country is also famous for having the world's best coffee, a place where noodles are served with insults and where $50 can buy you a whole day of luxury. This is Vietnam, considered one of the most livable countries in the world. When you step into Vietnam, the first thing that will overwhelm your senses isn't the traffic or the humid air, it's the aroma of coffee. Coffee here isn't just a drink, it's a national obsession. Imagine sipping on a thick, creamy cup of egg coffee in Hanoi, where frothy egg yolks transform your cup into something that feels more like dessert. Then travel south to Ho Chi Minh City, and you'll be handed a glass of sweet iced milk coffee so sugary it might make your teeth ache. And if that isn't surprising enough, there's the infamous weasel coffee, created after the animal digests and excretes the beans. $100 for just 100 grams, yet in Vietnam, you can taste it for a few dollars at the farm. But coffee is only the beginning. Vietnam is a food lover's wonderland, where steaming bowls of pho cost less than $2 and a crispy banh mi, stuffed with grilled meat and fresh herbs, can be had for just $1. It's no wonder international magazines call these some of the best street foods in the world. Yet beneath the comfort and delight, food in Vietnam also holds its shocking side. Some dishes, like raw blood pudding or fertilized duck eggs, challenge even the bravest stomachs. We'll get to those in a moment, but first, let's talk about the people behind this culinary world, the Vietnamese women, admired as some of the most beautiful and resilient in all of Asia. Walk down any street in Vietnam and you'll quickly notice something striking: the women. Known across Asia for their natural charm, smooth skin, and graceful movements, Vietnamese women are often celebrated as among the most beautiful on the continent. Tradition also plays its role. During festivals and holidays, women don the iconic Ao Dai, a long, flowing dress that highlights both modesty and grace. Picture Hon Kiem Lake in autumn, lined with women in Ao Dai, smiling and posing for photos, while others sell blossoms or share laughter with friends. These moments blend tradition with modern life, showing how culture continues to shape identity. In 2023, nearly 20,000 Vietnamese women married foreigners, accounting for almost 90% of all international marriages recorded in the country. Many of these unions happen in big cities like Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City, where foreign communities are growing fast. If you'd like to know more about Vietnamese women or other ways to connect with them, please comment on the number 2 below and we'll share more details. And while Vietnamese coffee, street food, and the charming local women have captured the hearts of travelers, the country's horror foods test their courage. Dog meat, for example, is still consumed in many parts of Vietnam. Served in small restaurants or roadside stalls, it costs only a few dollars a plate. While some locals believe it brings luck, many visitors are shocked to discover Vietnam is among the largest consumers of dog meat globally. Then there's Tiet Can, or raw blood pudding. Imagine fresh animal blood mixed with minced meat, cartilage, and topped with roasted peanuts. It's eaten quickly before the blood coagulates. Balut, fertilized duck egg, is another dish that tests stomachs. Crack open the shell, and instead of a yolk, you'll find a developing duck embryo. It's eaten with Vietnamese coriander, ginger, and salt, pepper, lime. Many Vietnamese believe eating balut on special lunar days brings prosperity, and at less than 50 cents each, it's both affordable and worth experiencing. And it doesn't stop there. Grasshoppers, silkworms, and even stink bugs appear on menus, often freed with lime leaves. Surprisingly, they're packed with protein, making them nutritious as well as cheap, just $2 or $3 a plate. But food isn't the only thing in Vietnam that shocks. Even the way meals are served can be unexpected. Before you hear us reveal, don't forget to support us by liking the video, subscribing to our channel, and turning on notifications. In most restaurants, the customer is king. But in Vietnam, there's one dining experience that flips this idea upside down. Welcome to the world of Bun Chui, literally noodles with insults. At a small eatery in Hanoi, customers barely sit down before the owner begins scolding them. "Eat faster," she shouts, If you've ordered, then wait, or go somewhere else. The words are sharp, the tone unforgiving. And yet, the restaurant is always packed. The most famous of these noodle shops, Bun Chui Ngoc, has been featured in international media, including Vice magazine, which called the owner a one-of-a-kind woman with nerves of steel. Strangely, her scolding has become part of the attraction. Tourists and locals alike line up just to be yelled at while slurping their noodles. Comment number 4, if Bun Chui is on your list of experiences to try when visiting Vietnam. But stories don't just unfold at the table. Step outside onto the streets, and you'll witness a spectacle even more jaw-dropping. Among Vietnam's most extraordinary spiritual traditions is the Hau Dong Ritual, part of the worship of the mother goddesses of the three realms. Recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage, this ceremony is unlike anything most visitors have ever seen. In Hau Dong, the medium, often a woman, becomes a vessel for the gods. To outsiders, the idea of possession may sound frightening, but here it's a celebration. The medium dons brilliant silk costumes, each color representing a different deity. Musicians play live folk music, the air fills with incense, and the medium begins a slow, graceful dance. With every new descent, there are blessings. Gifts are handed to participants, sometimes sweets, sometimes small tokens, symbolizing fortune and prosperity. But spirituality isn't the only part of life here that surprises outsiders. Even daily living costs hold shocking truths. For decades, Vietnam was a country that people left in search of opportunity. Today, the tide has turned. Nearly 100,000 foreigners now call Vietnam home, with most settling in Ho Chi Minh City, Hanoi, and Da Nang. They come from South Korea, Japan, the United States, and beyond, drawn by work, retirement, or simply the promise of a different life. The reason is clear: affordability. Vietnam's cost of living is only about 28% of that in the United States. A one-bedroom apartment in the heart of Hanoi might cost $300 a month. A full local meal? Just $2. Even taxis or ride-hailing apps rarely exceed $5 for short trips. For retirees, entrepreneurs, and digital nomads, the math is irresistible. Foreign communities here aren't isolated enclaves. They blend into vibrant districts filled with international restaurants, co-working spaces, and local markets. You'll find a Korean BBQ restaurant next to a Vietnamese pho stall, or an English language school run by expats down the street from a traditional pagoda. This coexistence has created a rare cultural exchange, where locals and foreigners live side by side, learning from one another. And for travelers, Vietnam feels almost unreal. With just $550 to $800 a month, one person can comfortably cover rent, food, transportation, and utilities. No wonder so many foreigners describe living here as stepping into a world where every dollar stretches further than they ever imagined. But this is just the beginning. What shocks many visitors most isn't just the cost of living, but how little it takes to live like a king. To truly understand Vietnam, you have to experience its calendar. This is a country where nearly every month brings a festival, each one blending history, spirituality, and celebration. The most important of all is Tet Nguyen Dan, or Lunar New Year. This is not just a holiday, it's the heartbeat of the nation. Families reunite, homes are cleaned and decorated, and offerings are made to ancestors. Streets fill with peach blossoms in the north and yellow apricot flowers in the south, while markets overflow with sticky rice cakes, fruits, and candies. For an entire week, the country seems to pause, yet at the same time it bursts with joy. Fireworks light the skies, children receive lucky money in red envelopes, and people dress in their finest AO dye. Other festivals carry their own magic. The Hung Kings Festival in Phu, though, honors the nation's legendary founders, drawing millions of pilgrims who climb temple steps in solemn processions. The Huang Pagoda Festival, one of the largest Buddhist gatherings in the country, sees entire rivers filled with boats carrying worshippers through limestone mountains to sacred caves. And in Bac Ninh, the Lim Festival resonates with the hauntingly beautiful Quan Ho folk songs, performed by men and women in traditional attire. But alongside the joy, there's something that makes Vietnam stand out in the modern world: safety. Despite the chaotic traffic, Vietnam consistently ranks as one of the safest countries in Asia. Violent crime is rare, and most visitors walk city streets late at night without fear. For a country that welcomes more than 17 million international tourists a year, that sense of security is priceless. Education also adds to this sense of stability. With a literacy rate over 95% and students who consistently outperform their Western peers in math and science, Vietnam invests heavily in knowledge. The younger generation grows up with both a strong sense of tradition and a global outlook. Healthcare, too, surprises many foreigners. While costs in the United States or Europe can be crushing, Vietnam offers quality medical services at a fraction of the price. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the country gained international recognition for its swift and effective response. This combination, vibrant festivals, a safe society, strong education, and affordable healthcare, creates a country that is not just fascinating to visit but also appealing to live in. For many, Vietnam feels like a balance of tradition and modernity that few places achieve. Yet even with all these qualities, one question remains for anyone tempted to pack their bags: how do you actually plan a visit? In most parts of the world, $50 barely covers dinner for two. In Vietnam, it can buy you an entire day of living like royalty. This is one of the reasons millions of international travelers keep returning year after year. Let's start with accommodation. In a city like Da Nang or Hoi An, $25 gets you a spacious hotel room, a swimming pool, and a breakfast buffet that would cost 5 times as much in New York or Paris. That leaves you with $25 still in your pocket. For food, the options are endless. A steaming bowl of pho or a crispy banh mi costs just $1 or $2. By lunchtime, you can feast on fresh seafood or hot pot for around $5. Dinner could be another banquet of grilled meat and noodles for $7. Even if you indulge in coffee, smoothies, and street snacks throughout the day, you'll struggle to spend more than $10 to $15 on food. Transportation is equally cheap. Renting a motorbike for a day costs $5 to $7. A full tank of gas? Just another $2 or $3. With that, you can cruise from beaches to ancient streets with total freedom. By the end of the day, you've eaten like a king, slept in comfort, and explored to your heart's content, all for less than what a single cocktail might cost in a Western city. It's not just affordable, it feels unreal. And the real treasure of Vietnam isn't only in its prices. It's in the unforgettable experiences you can buy with that money. If there's one image that defines daily life in Vietnam, it's the sea of motorcycles flooding every street. For most families, the motorbike isn't just transportation, it's a way of life. It's a moving food stall at lunch, a delivery truck in the afternoon, and sometimes even a makeshift bed at night. Vietnam has more than 75 million registered motorcycles for a population of just over 100 million. In Ho Chi Minh City alone, there are about 7 million bikes weaving through traffic every day. It's nearly one motorcycle per resident. And what these riders carry defies belief. Families of 4 balancing on a single bike, farmers transporting pigs, chickens, or even banana trees, workers hauling refrigerators, glass panels, and gas cylinders, all tied down with rope and ridden through chaotic streets. Helmets are technically required by law, but the reality is different. You'll often see young people without helmets or adults wearing ones so flimsy they look like toys. Of course, with chaos comes conflict. And motorists argue in the streets, sometimes even leaping off their bikes to shout or trade insults. Yet somehow, through the honking, weaving, and shouting, the traffic flows. It's messy, but it works. Stepping away from the crowded streets filled with people and traffic. From burning paper money to send gifts to the afterlife, to creating elaborate offerings for the spirits, the next chapter takes us into a ritual that blends devotion with fire. In Vietnam, death is not the end of giving. Families believe that the spirits of their ancestors still need support in the afterlife, and one of the most important ways to provide it is through burning paper money, known as votive offerings. During funerals, Lunar New Year, or other special days, families gather to light stacks of paper money. But these aren't ordinary slips of paper. They come in gold, silver, or even designed as banknotes with enormous denominations, sometimes millions or billions, far beyond real-world currency. The belief is simple: when burned, the offerings reach the ancestors, ensuring comfort and prosperity in the spirit world. Today, families burn paper replicas of clothes, jewelry, cars, houses, and even smartphones. Entire miniature villas or iPhones made of paper are carefully crafted and then set ablaze, as if sending loved ones a care package for the afterlife. The votive paper industry is now worth millions of dollars a year, a reminder of how deeply these rituals are woven into daily life. Streets filled with smoke, flames rising from piles of colorful paper, families praying with solemn devotion, it's both beautiful and bewildering. For foreigners, the sight can be surreal. But to the Vietnamese, it's an act of love and gratitude that keeps family bonds alive across generations. And yet, this is only one glimpse of Vietnam's spiritual world. With landscapes that look like they belong on postcards and cultural treasures that date back thousands of years, Vietnam offers experiences that stay with you long after you've left. And the most surprising part? Many of these once-in-a-lifetime adventures cost less than a dinner out in the West. Start in Hanoi, the thousand-year-old capital, where tree-lined boulevards lead you past crumbling colonial villas, buzzing street markets, and serene lakes. A stroll around Hon Kiem Lake at sunrise reveals locals practicing Tai Chi, while the old quarter just a few steps away feels like a time machine, with streets dedicated to single trades, silversmiths on one corner, spice sellers on another. For just a few dollars, you can hop in a cyclo, a three-wheeled bicycle taxi, and soak in the energy of a city where tradition and modern life collide. From Hanoi, it's only a few hours to one of the world's most breathtaking natural wonders, Hau Dong Bay. Imagine gliding through emerald waters on a wooden junk boat, passing between thousands of limestone islands that rise like ancient guardians from the sea. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is the highlight of your trip. An overnight cruise with fresh seafood, kayaking, and sunrise yoga can cost less than what a budget hotel might charge in Europe. But if caves and mountains are more your style, Phong Nha Bang National Park is unmatched. This is home to the world's largest cave, Sun Duong, so massive it has its own weather system. Head south, and Vietnam shifts gears. Ho Chi Minh City pulses with energy, a mix of modern skyscrapers and French colonial landmarks. The Independence Palace and War Remnants Museum give a sobering glimpse into the country's turbulent past, while Ben Thanh Market overflows with food, fabrics, and souvenirs. For a few dollars, you can sample dozens of dishes in one evening, all while weaving through the vibrant night market. Beyond the cities, Vietnam's countryside holds adventures of its own. Riding a motorbike along the Hai Giang Loop in the north is often described as one of the most thrilling road trips in the world. Winding mountain passes reveal terraced rice fields, remote villages, and landscapes so dramatic they rival the Alps or Himalayas. In central Vietnam, the lantern-lit streets of Hoi An glow with magic every full moon when the town turns off its electric lights and illuminates the river with floating candles. And for those who crave the sea, Vietnam's coastline stretches for more than 2,000 miles. Nha Trang's beaches offer bustling nightlife, while Phu Quoc Island boasts crystal-clear waters and coral reefs perfect for snorkeling. On Con Dao, you can watch sea turtles lay their eggs on deserted beaches. These aren't experiences reserved for the wealthy, they're accessible to anyone willing to explore. For travelers from the United States, the simplest option is the e-visa. It allows a single entry for up to 30 days, costs about $25, and can be applied for online. The process usually takes 3 to 5 working days, though during busy travel seasons it can take longer. For those who want to stay longer, extensions or multiple entry visas are available, ranging from $50 to $100 depending on duration. If you're considering a longer stay, whether for business, teaching, or even retirement, you'll need a different type of visa. Business visas or temporary residence permits require more paperwork, often proof of employment or financial stability. These can take a few weeks to process, so planning ahead is crucial. Some expats rely on visa agencies within Vietnam, which for a fee can simplify the process. Once paperwork is sorted, the real fun begins, choosing where to go. Most first-time travelers fly into either Hanoi in the north or Ho Chi Minh City in the south. Hanoi offers access to Hau Long Bay and the mountainous north, while Ho Chi Minh City is the gateway to the Mekong Delta and southern beaches. Many visitors travel the length of the country, either by bus, train, or a series of short domestic flights that often cost less than a dinner out in New York or London. The Reunification Express, a train connecting Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, takes over 30 hours but offers a chance to watch Vietnam's countryside roll by in slow motion. Packing for Vietnam depends on the season. The country stretches over 1,000 miles from north to south, so climates vary. Winters in Hanoi can feel surprisingly cold and damp, while Ho Chi Minh City is hot and humid year-round. Lightweight clothing, breathable fabrics, and a good rain jacket are essentials. For rural travel, sturdy shoes are a must, especially if you're exploring caves or trekking through terraced rice fields. As for money, Vietnam's currency is the dong. The bills are colorful, often in denominations of tens of thousands, which can feel overwhelming at first. $1 equals around 26,000 dong, meaning you might pay 50,000 dong for a simple meal, just $2. Credit cards are accepted in hotels and upscale restaurants, but cash is king in street markets and small shops. And then there's etiquette. Vietnamese culture places great value on respect. A slight bow or nod when greeting elders, removing your shoes before entering a home, and using both hands when giving or receiving something are small gestures that go a long way. Even learning a few simple Vietnamese phrases like Xin Cao, hello, or Cam on, thank you, will earn you smiles everywhere you go. Planning a trip to Vietnam isn't complicated, but the payoff is extraordinary. With a little preparation, visitors discover a country that is affordable, welcoming, and endlessly surprising. Vietnam is a country of contrasts. It's a place where coffee is crafted with egg yolks, where traffic feels like a circus on two wheels, and where ancient rituals still shape everyday life. We've seen how women balance beauty with resilience, how festivals light up the calendar, and how foreigners can live like kings on just $50 a day. From shocking foods to spiritual ceremonies, Vietnam never fails to surprise. If you've been watching and found yourself thinking, I need to see this for myself, then maybe it's time. Vietnam is more than a destination. It's an experience that reshapes the way you look at life. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Which fact about Vietnam shocked you the most? Was it the horror food, the burning of paper money, or maybe the noodles served with insults? Share your thoughts in the comments. We always look forward to hearing more from you. And don't forget to hit subscribe, turn on notifications bell so we can see you again in our next video. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. I hope you enjoyed it. Your support truly means the world. Wishing you the best of luck.